Catechesis Explained is brought to you by Paulines Publications Africa. Paulines Publications Africa is an activity of the Daughters of St. Paul, an international religious congregation using the press, radio, TV and films to spread the gospel message and to promote the dignity of all people. Listen to the Catechism of the Catholic Church, explained today from www.paulinesafrica.org. Today, our catechism begins with how we can write about Jesus. Do you like reading stories about important people? To answer these questions, we will be guided by the articles of the Catechism of the Catholic Church, numbers 77 to 79, and 96 to 108.
Writing about Jesus. Moses was a good man who loved God. God sent him to Egypt to free his people Israel from slavery. God did many wonderful things for his people, and Moses did not want them to forget. He wrote down these beautiful things so that the people would continue to read and remember. Read Exodus chapter 24, verses 3 to 12. When Jesus went back to heaven, his apostles did as Moses had done. All who believed in Jesus used to gather in one house, pray, sing hymns, share their food together. Then one of the apostles would tell stories about Jesus. They did not want the people to forget what Jesus had told them. Soon, those who believed in Jesus began to increase. Some apostles like St. Paul and St. Peter started writing letters to these brothers and sisters to remind them of Jesus. They wrote letters because they could not visit all the Christians. The people began to collect these letters and keep them together so that they would not forget what the apostles had told them about Jesus. When the apostles were getting old, some of them, like Matthew and John, and those who listened to other apostles tell about Jesus, like Mark and Luke, started to write also. They knew that someday people would not see the apostles, but could still read about Jesus. Today, we have many books in the Bible that tell us about our Lord. To help us understand all these stories about Jesus, an important group in the church, the bishops, hold many meetings to understand the Christian faith and then teach us. It is important to listen to the priest on Sunday when you go to church. Things to remember. God, in his care for us, wants us always to remember that he loves us. After Jesus returned to his Father, 4 of his disciples, Matthew, Mark, Luke, and John, wrote the Gospels so that those who had not met Jesus would be able to believe in him. To know about Jesus, we must read the Bible. The Gospels and the parts of the Bible which follow them were written to remind us of what Jesus did and said and what the church believes about him. read one passage from the Gospels every day so that we can act like Jesus and do things as He did. That is, to be kind and good to all we meet, especially those in need. Memorize these words of St. Paul. Through the good news that we brought, God called you to be saved, so that you should share the glory of our Lord Jesus Christ.
And that is it for today on Catechesis Explained, through the simplified text taken from the Journey of Faith, number 1, a book published by Paulines Publications Africa. Remember, you can access this book and other materials on catechesis by visiting our website www.paulinesafrica.org.